Joining us now, House of Delegates member and one of the key people in the Mitt Romney for President campaign in Virginia. She's co-chair, Barbara Comstock. Delegate Comstock, thanks for joining us today.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
Good morning. It's always a pleasure to have you on, Barbara. Now, you were at Mitt Romney's rally in Fairfax. It seems like the governor decided to not double down on the statements that he made criticizing the Obama administration for their apologetic, tepid response to 4 Americans being assassinated in Libya. What are your thoughts?
Well, listen, this was a rally, and, the governor addressed this on Wednesday. It's a very serious topic, and, the situation in the Mideast is obviously very serious. So he did not at all retreat from anything he said there. And he opened up the rally mentioning that situation, and then there actually was a heckler in the audience who decided, who actually exhibited the fact that in this country we have free speech and we defend it, and the way we deal with free speech is not to attack people. We engage in more free speech, which is what the audience did when they chanted USA, and the heckler, who instead of going out and working for his guy, decided to come and interrupt ours, which is something we've been seeing more and more. You don't see any Obama signs around even Northern Virginia. You don't see people out there working for their candidate. You just have these young men. Apparently they can't get employed in the Obama economy except to be hecklers. So, no, I don't think that the governor retreated from it at all. It's just in this setting, in a rally, which had been planned as a rally with businesswomen, that was a different topic that he addressed the day before. And our rally yesterday had, you were talking about we built it in Virginia, and that's exactly what we had, is a number of small businesswomen who had built their businesses. We had a woman who's a defense contractor who's from she came here from China 19 years ago, started a business with her husband, and she was very moving. She's somebody who came here and couldn't speak English, and this is something, public speaking, she doesn't do that a lot, but she felt very strongly that she wanted to talk about the American dream and why she and her husband came here, and she gave a beautiful speech. Another woman, I believe a Korean woman, who has opened a salon here in Fairfax and is, working hard to, get this off the ground. She also spoke again. It was her first time to be in that kind of public rally. Very nervous she was, but she did a beautiful job. And then we had a woman veteran who is actually out of work and talked about the Obama economy and its impact on her. So again, that had been the planned rally, and it was really focused on the economy and focused on women. So while he did reference the situation, it wasn't, really the setting and the opportunity to continue that discussion, although certainly the campaign and others yesterday did. The defense, too, because, I think what he did talk about, too, is, the need to be strong internationally, have our defense in Virginia be strong. I mean, and that is all connected. And, if you need to have a strong economy in order to be able to afford that strong defense, we don't want to see those defense cuts in Virginia that would first and foremost harm our national security, but then secondly be incredibly destructive to our jobs and throughout Virginia.
There's been some recent surveys that have come out, Barbara, in Virginia that show that the state is slipping away for Obama. How do you see things shaping up right now for the Romney campaign in the Commonwealth?
Well, there was a survey earlier this week. I can't remember which one it was. It had us up 50 to 45. The last Rasmussen poll that was taken in Virginia, but it was before both conventions, had it tied. I think it's close wherever it's at. The poll that I believe did come out today, which is the Wall Street Journal NBC poll, I would point out to people that was the 13th most accurate poll back in 2008. In other words, they weren't a very accurate poll at all. The Rasmussen poll was number one, in 2008, they tend to poll likely voters. So I tend to look at that one. But even more importantly than a lot of the polls, because sometimes, we know from the bad exit polls and from the bad polling that we've had over the past several cycles that the best way to judge what's going on is to have an active ground game and be talking to people yourself. And that's what I do every week. We're out knocking on doors. We're out there, getting up signs in yards, getting volunteers, making the phone calls. And on that level, given I've been very active doing that since 2008, when we won in 2009 with Governor McDonnell, that's when I was elected, when certainly nobody thought I'd get elected, and my race, fortunately, was ignored by the press. And we just went out and we talked to people. And then, and again, in 2011, when in Virginia we won the state Senate, after 2010, of course, we got those congressional seats back that we lost. So the ground game, is very strong in Virginia, and big difference from 2008. And we're getting great response. In fact, if you look at some of the left-wing blogs, they're complaining that you can't find a sign for Obama in Northern Virginia. I have been told that there's one in my district. I haven't seen it yet, but somebody said there is one up. There are lots of Romney signs. In fact, a reporter mentioned to me yesterday, well, what are you doing on the ground game? An Obama person had knocked on her door, and I guess a Romney person hadn't, but perhaps she wasn't on our list because she was a reporter. But at any rate, I did ask her, well, what about the signs? And she says, oh, gee, come to think of it, there's no Obama signs, but there are a lot of Romney signs. And in fact, she lives in a pretty Democratic area, yet she had not seen any Obama signs herself. And recently, Mark Warner was quoted as remarking on how different Virginia was in 2012 from 2008, when he saw so much more enthusiasm, saw those signs, saw people out there on the ground. And that's certainly what we're seeing. And we are seeing people who come in and say, I voted for Obama last time, I'm not doing it this time. Or people have said, I've never been active before. A woman last night, he said, I've never been active before, but I said, well, what got you motivated this time? This president has, been a disaster, the economy. My kids can't, take this for another 4 years. So that's the kind of enthusiasm we're seeing on the ground. So I feel very good about it. I think you always have to run, and this is certainly how I always have run. And Frank Wolf, who's our congressman up here in Northern Virginia, has always run like you're 10 points behind, and that's the way you win. And so not to get too caught up in the polls or paying attention to the other things, just get down there on the grassroots level and talk to people, listen to them about what their concerns are. And overwhelmingly, the number 1, 2, and 3 issues you hear are the economy and jobs. We know the Democrats aren't talking to them about those issues. When you don't talk to your customers about their most important issue, they will look elsewhere, and that's what we talk to them about.
I think Virginia is turning to Romney, but let me ask you this. When I was at the Republican National Convention in Tampa, I had people coming to me from all over the United States saying that the ground game chairman of Virginia Victory 2012, Chairman Pete Snyder, who is also a potential candidate for Virginia Lieutenant Governor in 2013, that he has, with his staff, put together the most formidable ground game of any Republican state in the United States that is going to serve as the model. Do you see evidence of the job that Pete Snyder has done?
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, Pete's been great to work with. I've known him over the years, and so it was great that we had him be able to come on board and put the kind of really full-time effort that he has done this year. So we have, and everybody is working together, the RNC, the Romney campaign, our victory efforts in Virginia. So we really have a united front, which, again, 4 years ago was not the case in Virginia. We had some unfortunate, internecine-type problems. So everybody is on the same page. Pete's been working with everybody, and Romney people have been working with everybody. So when you have that kind of united front and everybody is, we're just getting those volunteers, plugging them in. And I should mention to people they can go on to mittromney.com, find the Virginia office, and then if you don't hear from them, feel free to email me. I'm bcomstock at delegatecomstock.com. We want to get many people as we can get in.
We will direct everybody there. Just go to Virginia Victory 2012, or you can email Barbara Comstock at delegatecomstock.com. Delegate, we want to thank you for joining us today. We got to take off. We're out of time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anytime.